that quantum itself of 5
Right.
lakh rupees for life insurance company.
Right. Thank you so much, Yash, for getting us all those important details. And we are still digesting the changes in the finance bill as is on the passage. And right now, the big news that we are seeing is that at least by 23 to 25%, the Securities Transaction Tax has been increased by the government on futures and options trading. That's a big amount by which it has been increased, and it is going to directly impact the high-frequency traders. Mangla Malu is right here to put all that into perspective. Mangla.
Well, that's correct. From 0.0017%, the STT or Securities Transaction Tax on options trading has been increased to 0.0021%. What does that mean? On a turnover of 1 crore rupees, the STT that you will have to pay per trade, which is the tax that you pay before getting into any trade, the Securities Transaction Tax will increase from 1,700 rupees to 2,100 rupees. This is on options, and on futures this has increased from 1,000 rupees per crore to about 1,250 rupees per crore. So that is a 25% jump in futures and 23.5% jump in options. And this perhaps could have been on account of the fact that, increasingly the volumes in index options and index futures has only increased over the last couple of trading years, so to say. In fact, I'm just looking at some stats yesterday, and yesterday was weekly options expiry, and in the index options, a total turnover was close to around 421 lakh crores. That's 4.21 crores in index options. Overall, yesterday's F&O turnover was close to 425 lakh crores. So we have seen a big increase in options trading, not just weekly options because of Thursday, there is Nifty and Nifty Bank weekly options expiry. On Tuesdays, we have the Fin Nifty expiry as well, and monthly expiry too, as a result of which we have seen a fair amount of options action in the F&O space. But importantly, this could also be a negative for a lot of these discount brokers. So I would like to see, the impact that it takes there is on, say, something like an ICICI Securities, 5paisa.com, because a large part of the brokerage volume has been generated by options trading and futures trading. So do they stand to lose some business or not is the big question.
All right. So the impact of this increase in the Securities Transaction Tax, Siddarth Bhamre, the research head at Religare Broking, joins us to put some thoughts into this and how is it going to really impact. Siddarth, by all means, 23 and 25% hike in STT for the options and futures contracts. It's a big increase.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. So certainly if you just look at the tax point of view, then the increase is substantial, around 23 to 25%, as you are mentioning. This would increase cost of trading for a trader. But then if you look at the overall how F&O market has panned out over a period of time, how volumes have substantially increased, despite, exchange measures and regulators measures that you increase the lot size and hence you would restrict retail participant, but retail participation has only increased. So I believe the cost has gone up. This would impact marginally from short-term perspective on volumes, but overall I don't see, because of this reason, you will see significant dip in volumes.
Right. So that, just wanted to understand your thoughts on the actual impact of this. Would you have any sense on the volumes that take place for ultra short term, say HFTs or high frequency traders, because those are the guys who play for very little return, and for them this increase would be extremely substantial and this would impact their return expectations as well. So what proportion of the total options trading or futures trading would be via HFTs, or would they be extremely out of the money options that they're selling which are for very little premium to benefit from this, and they get impacted by this increase? Would you know how much would be the overall proportion of that?
So if you look at, Mangalam, what is the high frequency trades now, the exchange gives the bifurcation, and the trades which are happening through algos, they are substantial. But algo can be a strategy also. Algo can be, as you mentioned, a very thin margin trades as well. So yes, there will be an impact on those kind of traders. Their margin might get squeezed. But then if IVs, you need to connect this with market dynamics as well. So these traders may not be getting highly impacted, or their margin may not get very squeezed if volatility is high and IVs are high. But in a low IV market, you would see that volumes might dry up, because anyway the premiums would be low. And if my margin also get reduced, then the impact would be there. But in nutshell, I would want to say that the actual trading impact may not be very high, and even if it's there, it would be from short-term perspective. Retail will find their way to trade.
All right. Basically, 400 rupee increase on a crore on STT and 1,500 rupees on a crore of traded value on futures. That is the overall impact. So that stay with us. Rajesh Baheti of Crosseas Capital is also with us. At one point in time, in the futures and options market, there used to be. Okay, I think we lost the line just in queue. We'll dial Rajesh back quickly. But this is, it almost feels like the day of the budget, right, guys? When
there's so many changes. We are again redigesting the impact.
You're finding out completely new things which were not there at all in the budget. And these are not, in a way, you can call them amendments because they are in that amendment document, but these are completely new proposals which are coming through. Rajesh is with us, I'm being told, of Crosseas Capital. They were one of the, at one point, very large contributors to overall sort of option volumes in the country. Rajesh, good to have you with us here. First of all, how significant is the increase according to you? I mean, we have the numbers, etc. And more on a sort of philosophical basis, what is the reason behind an increase like this, and what is the impact according to you?
So, Prashant, hear this. This is really funny. Somebody is going to get fired from the finance ministry soon, I think, because STT on options trading was hiked in 2017 from 0.017 to 0.05. Somebody's gone and taken that old figure of 0.017 and changed it to 0.021.
Oh dear.
So technically, as it stands, you might argue that STT has been reduced by 60% in options trading.
Wow.
So somebody has made this monumental error while drafting the amendments to the budget. So the way I see it, this entire discussion for the time being is meaningless, because STT on options already stands at 0.05, which is 5,000 and not 1,700.
One minute. Rajesh, so, when we say that it has been hiked to this number, it is what it is already at that number, you're saying. In 2017, it was changed to that number.
It's 2.5 times that number already.
So this is basically much ado about nothing. Siddarth,
So they want to hike it, that's for sure. But the fact is they've forgotten that it was hiked 3x in 2017.
Right.
No, 1 minute. So you're saying that from what? Just say that again, Rajesh. And you're sure about these numbers, right? You went back and looked at these numbers.
Yes. I went and looked and I checked.
So
and I was bewildered, and I was corrected by others. So in 2017, the STT was on options was hiked from 0.017 to 0.05.
0.017
to 0.05.
Okay. In 2017.
5,000 per crore. Yes.
Okay.
And somebody has missed that out completely and reconfigured 0.017 to 0.021.
Okay, that's an important point that you're making here, Rajesh. Let's cross-verify with Siddarth as well. Siddarth, you do a lot of F&O trading yourself for clients and your organization. Would you be aware of the STT which is currently applicable, whether it's 5,000 or 1,700 as the finance bill proposes, or as what Rajesh Baheti is saying right now? Siddarth? Right.
Rajesh, if you're still there, so there are a lot of these 0.00 here, so it's kind of hard to get your head around. Is there, even from the 2017 number, the current proposed number, is it an increase or not?
Yes, from the old number of 2016, it's an increase, but the increase has already happened to 5,000 per crore. What they are proposing now is 2,100 per crore, assuming that the existing number is 1,700 per crore. When it's actually 5,000 per crore.
So it's if the so this has been passed, Rajesh. The finance bill is passed.
All right.
So this is an effective decrease, you're saying? Rajesh, are you there?
So, Prashant, as I understand from Rajesh, and we'll get that clarity from him, all he's saying is that there is some error in drafting the amendment. The earlier figure that has been put is probably incorrect, which is 2016 figure and not accounting for 2017 increased figure. And he's saying that probably the increase has happened, but over the 2017 figure. So, only the versus figure that we are alluding to is probably the incorrect figure. But nonetheless, the amendment has been passed on increase in STT by that certain percentage on the last figure existing, is what I gathered from Rajesh.
No,
but we need clarity.
Is this an effective decrease or increase, is what I want to know.
I would presume that, if you look at it from an absolute basis via what is written in the finance bill, it would be a decrease. However, if the spirit of the law has to be followed, then it would be an increase from 5,000 per crore to a 25% jump over that would be around 60 to 50 rupees per crore.
Like he said, they do want to still increase it, but they've made an error in perhaps the number.
But guys, we pay taxes not on spirit but on the written word.
Yes.
So if
Okay,
if the written word is
clarity.
what has been passed,
Yes.
So they would, I mean, if the intent, as Rajesh also pointed out, is to increase, then I think...
Then it could be 25% on this.
On this. So, which
Rajesh
means that then we
is
will get a clarification. Our colleague Timsy, of course, is also getting, sort of exact lines from the Finance Ministry. Rajesh is back with us. Rajesh, I think we lost you there, a bit of a patchy line. So, effectively, this is a decrease and this will need to be clarified then because the intent is to hike, Rajesh. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, but the intent is to hike, but the number is already at 5,000, so the justification does not exist. Because in their own minds, they thought 2,100 was a good number.
No. Forget about justification. If the intent is to hike even from there has to be then a clarification after this, right? Because it's an effect.
Well, it can't be a clarification. There has to be a new amendment to the finance bill and it has to be passed because technically this has been passed by the Lok Sabha.
Okay, and
so
on
it
the
has
future,
to be...
this
yes,
is options.
on futures,
on
there is an
futures?
increase of 25%. There's no mistake there.
Okay, and if these are, forget about the sort of change that you're talking about, and presumably that will happen if the intent is to increase, how significant are these increases to your mind, Rajesh?
Well, they were significant, very significant in 2017. We don't think there's a case for increase, and it will be significant. And it will be detrimental to numbers in terms of volumes. The fact that STT has also been disallowed as an expense for anybody claiming capital gains. So I believe SBIs claim capital gains on their derivatives income. So this can't even be claimed as an expense. So it'll all be additional tax
Rajesh,
on their income.
But when it was increased by 3 times in 2017, since then to now, we have seen a multifold increase in volumes. Do you think an increase in STT would actually impede volumes?
Yes, it does. So last time why the volumes increased was when this increase was done to 5,000 from 1,700. A very significant change was also made that at the time of expiry, the premium was to be collected only on the expiry price of the options as against the strike plus premium, which used to be the case. So this kind of compensated for that expiry day problems that we used to have in terms of the tax being very, very high on all in-the-money options. So this increase was done to compensate for that.
Okay, okay, fair enough. I think we'll leave it there. What we'll have to do is sort of get on the phone and off the air and sort of put this together, because this is a developing story, and as I think Rajesh is giving new information in terms of the prior figures which were already increased, and the latest notification does not account for that. So if the intent is to increase, we'll have to hear from the Finance Ministry, no less, in terms of all of this. Rajesh, thank you very much for joining us. Right. Good speaking with you. Nisha, over to you.
Yes, thanks so much, Prashant. That was a lot of clarity, but now there is a lot more clarification, as well as probably a new amendment draft by in terms of the finance bill that needs to be given by the Finance Ministry, and that's what we'll wait and watch out for. But there are a few other aspects of this finance bill that we are focusing on. One more important amendment that has been made, and this has been, remember, the ask price by the REITs and InvITs shareholders and the companies in the country. Because remember that in this finance bill, there was a new, the tax ambit was increased to the repayment of debt component of the distributed cash as part of REITs and InvITs. Now the amendment has given slight bit of dispensation. The debt repayment portion will deduct for the cost of acquisition. So if the shareholders were getting impacted, say by 3% of their total returns because of this tax being increased or ambit being increased, that will come down a little, but still it is going to be negative. Slight bit of dispensation. Keep that on the radar, but completely out of time on this edition of Business Lunch. More details on the finance bill, their understanding, amendments and the markets in Mid Cap Radar. Stay tuned for that.